Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier face off ahead of their trilogy fight this weekend. Alex Pereira shows that he is currently weighing 110 kilograms, which is around 242 pounds.
Ficando pouquinho forte, né? Pô, não tem jeito. Vamos ver aqui, ó. A hora da verdade agora, hein? Quanto? Vem aqui, Cauê. Cedo. Dá pra ganhar mais um pezinho, não?
Dana White discusses the UFC event at the White House. He says it's going to be the Sphere on steroids.
Obviously everybody wants to fight on that card. And that's a good thing because we're going to put on the best card we've ever done for that White House event. Imagine, just think about what I'm going to do for this fight and then think about what Trump is going to do for this fight. You know what I mean? It's going to be it's a one-of-one experience. Like when we did the Sphere, it's the Sphere on steroids. I mean, it's going to be a one-of-one event. There'll be nothing like it ever again.
Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov goes down this weekend at UFC 318. Paulo recently explained to Ariel Helwani why his relationship with Dana White has improved over the years. It mainly comes down to finances, and Paulo feeling like he was underpaid.
I support you, my friend Ariel Helwani.
Thank you.
I support Bryce Mitchell. I support Dana White right now.
Why right now?
Because back in the days I wasn't supporting him, but now.
Why didn't you like him back in the day?
Back in the days we have some beef, you know. Not really he did bad things to me, but I was a little bit sad, mad, you know.
Which time frame was this? Well, which time was this? When you fought Izzy?
No. Because my first 6 fights in the contract was horrible. I was unfair getting paid, you know.
Yes.
I try to I talk very honestly. Say, guys, come on, look, this is unfair. You know, I will be close, engaged to this contract for a long fight period. This is not fair because of bad decision in the past. But no, it's okay.
At UFC Nashville over the weekend, Stephen Thompson lost to Gabriel Bonfim via split decision. Many fans and fighters thought Wonderboy actually won the fight, and Wonderboy agrees. In a recent interview with Ariel Helwani, he went on to say, "I felt that I did enough to win the fight. Clean strikes. I felt great during my movement. I think I felt I had more damage. The damage was in my favor. Bonfim, tough fighter. Hats off to the guy. But when the crowd, the journalists, and the team are all like this shocked about the decision, I'm like, something is not right. I've been in the game for a long time, and I know what it feels like to win a fight, and I know what it feels like to lose a fight. I didn't lose that fight. I feel like I didn't lose that fight. I lost the fight, but I felt like I won it. When you've got your family, your team, your friends, and family back home, everybody who saw the fight thought that I won the fight. It kind of goes back to, what do we do about that? I think there's got to be more accountability with the judges. I know it's not the UFC's fault, it's the commission's fault, but there's got to be more transparency for sure when it comes to the judging of these fights." Nate Diaz wants to return to the UFC and is pushing for a trilogy fight with Conor McGregor or a fight with Ilia Topuria. On the Out Cold podcast with Chuck Liddell, Nate said, "If I could fight anybody right now, I would fight, with all due respect to them, if Conor McGregor came back, Conor McGregor. There ain't nobody else to fight really right now. I would like for him to come back and impress everybody first. Not that he needs to, but it would be great to see him back. Everybody's hating on him. I'd like to beat up somebody on top of the world, and I think he's got the capability to do that. Then that little Ilia Topuria, he's doing a really good job. He's a little small for me, but those two are probably the best fights. And then on the boxing side, obviously Canelo or Crawford. I ain't asking for nothing, but when I whoop someone's ass, I'm gonna get them motherfuckers too, with all due respect. So that's my plan." Aljamain Sterling is leaning towards Roman Kopylov getting the win over Paulo Costa. Since challenging Israel Adesanya for the middleweight title in 2020, Paulo has gone just 1-4, with his only win coming against Luke Rockhold, who retired after the fight. Aljo says that Costa hasn't looked the same since the loss to Izzy.
I mean, Kopylov could probably come out there and teep kick him to death and win the fight. I don't know, Costa seems like a shell of himself lately, man. It's hard. I mean, he had that one spinning hook kick moment against Luke Rockhold. But in the past few fights, he hasn't looked like the Rockhold, the Costa that fought Yoel Romero on his way to the title shot. I feel like Kopylov has been running pretty hot right now. So I want to see Costa win, but I'm leaning towards Kopylov. I think Kopylov gets it done.
Daniel Cormier appeared on Demetrious Johnson's YouTube channel this week. DC disagreed with one of DJ's takes. Mighty Mouse said that he does not think Tom Aspinall needs John Jones for his legacy. However, DC thinks otherwise.
I think John Jones' legacy doesn't need Tom Aspinall as Tom Aspinall.
Needs John.
I don't think he does.
He does, bro.
He doesn't.
You know why?
Why?
And I'm only telling you this from a guy that lived in that world, right?
You lived in that division.
I also never beat him.
Yeah.
And I had, no matter what I did going forward, it was always that, well, you never beat John Jones. Tom Aspinall is going to get that belt, and there's going to be a gap, right? That lineal championship breaks. That line breaks. When Tom goes from interim to champion. Because John never gave him the opportunity to fight him.
But either did Francis never gave John Jones opportunity to fight him.
Francis was going to give John an opportunity. John wasn't ready to take it at the time.
Exactly.
Right?
So there you have that same type
so
of
it
thing.
keeps breaking. Francis left. Made a boatload of money. So in retrospect, Francis probably made the right decision because he got paid so much money to box.
Exactly.
Bryce Mitchell is set to fight Said Nurmagomedov next weekend at UFC Abu Dhabi. Bryce is already in Abu Dhabi and reveals he almost got into a fight with 6 men in a gym changing room.
This story is not for entertainment purposes only. This is an educational story for all of y'all who ain't been to Abu Dhabi. This is my first time in Abu Dhabi, so I'm kind of learning the rules still. Okay, so let me tell you something. In Abu Dhabi, a changing room is not a changing room. You do not change in a changing room. I don't know where you change, but you certainly don't do it in a changing room. Okay, so what happened is after training, I was at a gym. I took a shower, and I go from the shower to the changing room, which is right next to the showers. And I go out of the shower butt naked into the changing room to change into my clothes. There were 6 Muslim men in that changing room. Apparently, me being naked greatly offended them, to the point where I thought that they might actually start a fight with me. And they started walking at me. They started yelling at me. And I could tell that they were mad because I was naked. Because they wasn't mad when I walked in. They was only mad when I got out of the shower. And I was like, okay, well, they must be mad that I'm naked. And I didn't know this until it was too late. So I got these 6 dudes about to fight me. And I'm trying to tell them, hey, I'm sorry. And so I was sitting there exposed before my fellow man. And by the way, there was a cold breeze in that room. So not only am I exposed before my fellow man, I'm outnumbered and I'm outsized, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm not feeling very confident at this moment. And I got these 6 dudes yelling at me, walking at me, telling me leave, leave, leave. And then, thank the Lord, TJ Brown comes in. He says, hey Bryce, you all right, brother? And that was the happiest I've ever been to see TJ Brown in my life. I proceeded to tell them I'm sorry over and over. And then they finally let me get dressed. And brother, let me tell you, I have never put on my blue jeans and my boots quicker in my life than I did that day. And then I got the heck out of that locker room and I learned my lesson. So let me tell y'all, if you're in Abu Dhabi, do not get naked in front of none of these dudes. In the changing room, it don't matter where you're at. I'm just telling you. Because I ain't going to be happy. You might get into a fight. And I just want to share that with y'all because you might find it funny. But at the time, it was not funny. It scared the hell out of me. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed it.
UFC middleweight champion Dricus Du Plessis trolled Khamzat Chimaev today, ahead of their fight at UFC 319 next month. Khamzat posted this photo of himself to X with no caption. Dricus responded with this photo of himself, appearing to mock Khamzat's scar on his lip. He wrote, "Same, just need a little more work on the beard." This Khamzat fan account replied with this photo, says, "We did it better." Dricus responded, "Yes, I agree, but the word better is very, very relative." Alexander Volkanovski is backing Max Holloway to defeat Dustin Poirier. Volk thinks Max has improved since the last time he fought Dustin and will have a more calculated approach this time around. Speaking to Fox Sports Australia, Volk said he's coming off the first knockout loss ever. Not many people can bounce back from that. A lot of people change after that, but there's only a few that can bounce back in a positive way, and I know he's one of them. I know he'll be the type of guy to make the right adjustments or come back not only the same guy he was, maybe even look better. You might see Max even better. I think he's that type of guy that can come back with a bounce back. Not only bounce back to where he was, which was already incredible, but bounce back even more than that. If he does that, it just shows you how good that bloke is. I'm going to go with Max. Obviously, he's coming off a KO loss, which is something that's going to be a big factor. Not many people can bounce back from a KO loss. There's very few that can, and I think Max is definitely one of them. I think you're maybe going to see the same Max or an even more improved Max now that he's going to be even a little bit more calculated, because you know he can, you know he's tough, you know he's got a lot of skills, but now to have even more of a calculated approach, I think he's going to be one tough man to beat. And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from MMA for Life. It says, "No John, no Conor. What a great day for MMA news, Full Mount." The second one's from Invisible But Present. It says, "Max voluntarily leaving the rankings is the most mature thing I've seen all year in MMA." And the final one's from Peyton Joe. It says, "Conor gave Chandler a new phone screen." Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.